Hey there, it is September 3rd, Friday, September 3rd, 2021, and I am just doing a little vlog entry about what's currently going on with me. Um, I don't know where you are in the story, so I'm just going to be thorough. So, first of all, I have a roommate who has been with me since I think she moved in mid-May. Her name is Renata, and we met each other on Tinder last year in the fall, right after my dog died. And we decided that we weren't like a couple, but we were really good friends. So we kind of spent some time apart working on our mental health stuff separately this winter and came back together this spring and have been spending a lot of time together and discovering that we're like incredible, good, great friends, you know? So I have been waiting for, I filed for Social Security disability when I was going through all my suicidal craziness and was approved. And so that has been really helpful to have some actual steady income for the first time ever. And that's not dependent upon somebody else, which is the key, right? So, um, anyway, I'm getting a sudden, the back pay that I've been waiting 2.5 years for, or whatever. Oh my God. And there's been all these hangups because when they, like when they did the interview with me with the judge, um, I was so suicide that was so suicidal at that point. I was just waiting for a reason. Just give me one reason. I had enough heroin to kill me, and I was just waiting for a reason, and I was gonna throw that stuff out there and snort it and just be done, Like I lost my relationship with my mother, with my daughter, my dog died. I lost my best friends, two of them. I lost my apartment. I lost my job. I lost my mobility. I lost my freedom. I lost everything, right? So it's just been a really hard run, and I barely made it through that shit. So anyway, when they were doing the interview with me with the judge, they determined that I may need some assistance with my money. So that's what held everything up is that they needed to do an assessment of me to find out whether or not I was capable of handling that sum of money or whatever, right? So we wound up taking care of that this summer with my lawyer. And anyway, the money should be coming, but it's still like held up and taking forever right now, which sucks because in July, Renata and well, okay, so what had happened is let's rewind. So for those of you who don't know what's been going on, the last 2.5 years of my life have been fucking shit, and I was hospitalized 5 times for suicidal issues, either an attempt or ideation or fear of hurting myself, or, because I hurt myself or cut myself. I mean, these are all reasons that I was hospitalized over the last few years. Look, I don't know if you can see, but I've got scars all over my arms. I tried to be creative and make them into like vines. I don't know if you can see, there's an ivy leaf right here, and it kind of connects to another one. I don't know. I thought I was being creative. I was just being self-destructive and calling it creative. I like scars because I think it's really cool to see how the body heals itself. Like ink, now that I've seen my body heal itself, ink isn't enough for me anymore. Like I want to watch my body. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. So, suicidal, waiting for any good reason to give up, and had been talking with my old lover from back in the day, Adam, who had moved to Colorado. And he and I have known each other for 20 years. We met when we were 24. He was 24, I was 26. And right away, we had an incredible connection. It's very passionate, very intimate. But he had absolutely no interest whatsoever in becoming a stepfather or participating in any way, shape, or form. It was just not in his, was not on his horizon, right? So the entire time that my kids were growing up, we, had a friends with benefits thing, but really it was just me like settling for less. I loved him the whole damn time, and he never once chose me or asked me to be his girlfriend even, or said I love you. Nothing, none of that. But I've known since pretty much the day I met him. When we met each other, we met at a friend's house, a mutual friend's house, and it was our friend Alina, and he came walking in the door. And I remember as soon as I saw him, like locking eyes with him. And a little while later, she went and took a shower, and he and I just started making out like that. I mean, it was like instant. It was so, oh gosh, I just felt so alive, you know? And somehow throughout the last 20 years, it's always been like that. Like when we're together like that, there's not a time that I feel more alive than that. It's really great. Anyway, I'm really lucky to have that, and so is he. So anyway, um, so in December they determined that they granted me disability, and that whole process began. But in the meantime, in speaking with Adam, he had said that he was planning to come to. Sorry, where are we? Okay, I don't know what's going on. I'll worry about it later. Anyway, so when he came, so he was planning a trip to come home to Buffalo, and I I had already bought the heroin, and I was just waiting for a reason. And so he was supposed to come home like the 10th of January, and we had discussed him coming home prior, and I had said to him specifically, you know, like, are we gonna fuck around or not? And he was like, I don't think that we should. I'm like, well, if we're not gonna fuck around, then I don't want to see you because I can't handle feeling, you know, rejected right now. Like that's all I want from you is a little intimacy and love. And if that can't happen, then I don't want to put myself through this shit right now. So he was supposed to show up on the 10th, and he showed up on the 3rd and drove up in his truck with his license plate from Colorado. And I was like, wait, what the fuck's happening? And he's like, surprise, I'm home. And I'm like, what? So then all of a sudden, you know, we had a great night, of course. And, you know, I just got lost in it. I mean, going from straight up fucking suicidal for a long ass time to all of a sudden feeling excited and like I couldn't wait to see him again and I couldn't wait to feel all that again. And I was just so like, you know, like there's hope. There's hope. I can still feel there, like something good can still happen for me this lifetime, you know? And he was very clear. And he was like, listen, I'm only here for a year. I just need to get my shit together. And then I'm moving to Portland. And I'm like, oh my God, you're going to do this to me again? When he went to Portland or when he went to Denver, it broke my heart. I mean, I was just devastated that he left. And so, yay, I get to do it again. So anyway, things just picked right back up where they were from where we left off, and we have been having an amazing time and a terrible time. You know, like it's amazing when we're on the same page and we're, you know, fucking around or whatever. But you know, during this whole time was so dependent on, I just became instantly codependent. Like I just wanted to be with him all the time. I just wanted him. It felt more like he was, I know it sounds stupid, but it felt more like he was a daddy or something, you know, like he was taking care of me and making sure that I was safe and secure. And that was really important to me at the time. And it was mixed with this other shit, and that was kind of weird. And he was like, dude, I'm not into that. That's fucking weird. So anyway, that was a brief little weirdness that happened for a little bit. But basically, you know, I've got 20 years of momentum of loving him and waiting for him to finally love me back, you know, to reciprocate. And that's never happened. And so this time I'm like, dude, this is either going down or we're done. Like, I can't fucking keep on doing this over and over and over with you. And so I kept on pushing and pushing, and he kept on bailing and bailing because whenever I push, he bails. That's just how it goes. He's very, very stubborn, and I'm very, very persistent. So, you know, this just goes on and on and on, right? And it did. And we wasted most of the time that he's been back since like April until now. I mean, we've only had maybe on average like 2 good weeks out of every month that we even spoke to each other during that time. And all the stuff that we had planned to do when he first got here has gone out the window and we haven't done any of it. And now Renata and I are about to be going to Europe. And I know within a month or two, oh, I was getting to that. Uh, anyway, at some point, Adam and I had it out again this summer. He said, you know, goodbye to me at least 3 or 4 times where I was like, listen, we're either doing this or we're not. And like, I'm going to walk away. And he was like, okay. And I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh. and then I'd go away and I'd be all pissed off or whatever, right? So that happened again, of course. And this time I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I am so done with you. I'm done with this shit. I deserve better. This is fucking stupid. I'm so sick of waiting on you. Like, you have no emotional aptitude whatsoever. You're like, what the fuck? We are not on the same level, like, not even close. Like, why am I wasting my fucking time? That's how I felt, right? So, uh, I got pissed off. I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I don't fucking need you. I don't need you. Fuck you. Go be miserable with someone else, somewhere else. I don't fucking care because my life's gonna be fucking awesome. And I decided at that time that, you know what? That money that I'm getting, I'm gonna take half of it and go travel the fucking world. Renata has relatives in Germany and Berlin. I have friends in Edinburgh and how do you say this? Edinburgh or Edinburgh? I don't know how you say it properly. In Scotland, I'm hoping that my friend Alex in Cornwall will, host a little visit because I'd love to see him. My friends, I have lots of friends all over the place. Some friends in Amsterdam and she knows somebody in Milan, and we both want to see Greece. So, I mean, we've got this huge trip that we're going to do. And plus, I'm a total freaking nerd when it comes to history, especially English history, because my mom instilled that love in me when I was very young and started telling me about Anne Boleyn when I was, old enough to understand. And so I've always been fascinated with all of it. And so I have just been going nuts over the last couple of weeks or a week or two, like studying. I mean, I always study English history. I watch all the documentaries on YouTube that I can find. I freaking love it. And right now, by the way, I have memorized the first 20 kings of England, and it's the Saxons. So maybe at some point I'll recite those for you, but not right now. So anyway, I'm going all over the place, but I'm so excited because we're gonna go. Okay, so she and I had this big epiphany where we're like, yes, we're gonna fucking do this. And at the same time, I rediscovered Abraham Hicks and the law of attraction, which I have used to manifest some seriously fucking awesome shit in my life in the past. And like I like deliberately and consciously cut it out of my life for the last 2.5 years that I've been swimming through misery, which, I don't know what to think of that in retrospect, other than that I mean, it needed to happen because I wouldn't have learned the lessons that I've learned in the meantime. So it's all fine, and it's a waste of time to try and like assess shit that could or couldn't have happened or whatever. Anyway, long story short is that I decided all that, and then I also decided at the same time that I really love him. I do, and me acting like I hate him or feeling like I hate him is not me. And like I'll wait. It's just the truth. There's nothing else going on. And, this is where I was. And this was like a month or two ago, right? So I wrote that letter and then he didn't respond. And then my car broke down on the highway and he came and like right away and caught me. And I was like, wow, that's cool. He's not mad. He answered the phone right away. Like, okay. And, then so Renata and I were going like nuts during the whole law of attraction thing and manifesting all kinds of shit and talking about our trip to Europe and all the things that we're going to do and just making plans. And I got so freaking psyched on it. And at the same time, while I was learning about all this stuff and going on YouTube like all day, I also discovered a few tarot readers and got like hooked. And I found this guy, and his name it's Steve's Love Tarot, and he's fucking awesome. I love Steve. You got to check his shit out. He is like an amazing energy reader, and he keeps it super light, and it's a lot of fun to hang out with him. And you can discover how awesome he is all on your own. But basically, we bang every night, and it's a lot of fun. Yay! So anyway, I've been listening to a lot of his tarot readings and a lot of other ones, and for the whole time that I've been doing it, I'm like, this is cheesy. What am I doing? Like this isn't real. This is just making me feel better, like I know, well, I kind of believe in this stuff, but I don't really believe what they're saying. Like, Adam's gonna change his mind, he's gonna come back, and we're gonna have like a fresh start, and we're twin flames and all these things. And I'm like, that sounds good. Like, I really want to hear that, but I don't believe it at all until I started applying, law of attraction to it and started trying to manifest it and started talking about it even with him too, and kind of, introducing the idea of, paying attention to how we feel and whether something feels like a satisfying thought or not, and all that kind of stuff. And we didn't really get very far with it because he's not an open person, like, at all. Like, he has his comfort zone, and he really, actually, from one of the tarot readings or readers that I've been listening to, one of them said something that really, really resonated with me. And they said this person's head is really loud, and that would help explain a lot about him, because I feel like it gets overwhelmed really easily. But maybe it's because, his inner world is so active and so alive and real and whatever for him. I don't know. Anyway, so after that, we decided, like, I forget what it was, but I just wanted to fuck around with him. And he was like, I basically told him what he wanted to hear, which is that I can do that. I can just fuck around and not have it mean anything. And he was like, okay. So then we started fucking around again. We had a lot of fun and went to the beach. And we had a beautiful night with a beach fire and, like, an amazing time on the beach. A few other memories like that. And I'm thinking, this is so magical. This is so special. Oh my God, he's falling in love with me. Ah, it's finally happening. Steve's right. That's where I was at. And then, oh God, basically, I was at his house like all day while he was working. And he comes in at the end of the day and comes to sit on the couch with me. And he's like, so how's your dating life going? Because the girl I'm talking to doesn't want to fuck me. And I'm like, wait, what? We like, in my heart, we've been like falling in love in my brain, and in yours, you've been talking to somebody else. I'm such a fucking idiot. I cannot believe that I got myself caught up in this shit again. Again, I know better. I am so tired of doing this with you. And basically, I was like, fuck you. I'm fucking done. Like, know when to walk away, know when to run. It was time to fucking run. I was so fucking angry. And I went home and spent the next 2 days just like, I couldn't breathe. I could not get a deep enough breath. I was having like a low grade constant panic attack. I just couldn't catch my breath. I couldn't breathe. I kept on like, uh, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I was just so fucking stressed out, and just walking around in my head saying, I fucking hate you. You will never do this to me again. I fucking hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Do you hear me, Adam? Do you hear me energetically? Because I fucking hate you. And then the one day I was like, oh my God, I hate this feeling. Oh, I don't want to feel like this anymore. This isn't me. This isn't mine. I don't hate him. I love him. I adore him. Like, this isn't mine. And this isn't my truth. So, and right then I ended the silence and was like, this isn't working for me. Like, I can't be the one that keeps on ending things, because clearly we both know that I keep on coming back. And like, if this is going to end and we're going to move on, it's going to be a decision that we make together. And it's going to be one that we work out the logistics of together and that we're both committed to, because it's not going to be me being the bad guy cutting you out every time you hurt me. Like, this is fucking stupid, and we need to come up with a better solution. So I was like, okay, so like option one, we never speak again, and said option two and sent it for him. And he came back with, well, we talk again in 2 weeks. And I'm like, what the fuck good is that going to do? And he's like, well, maybe you'll be dating by then. I'm like, you don't fucking get it. I love you. Like, I'm not interested in dating anybody else. What the fuck? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, all that went on. And we were trying to come up with ideas. And then like the last one I said for the that day was, you know what, maybe we should just stick with what we're good at and just have sex and not talk. And then he got back to me and was like, I like that idea. And so, like, anyway, later that day we wound up meeting up, and it was amazing. And we've always been amazing in that way, but this time, like, shit went to a whole other place that neither one of us even knew existed. It was fucking crazy. And then all of a sudden there was like this door open to this whole big world that we could explore, of like even better intimacy and sexual connection. It was crazy, and it was big, and I felt it. And This is so crazy. And wait, let me back up. Steve was saying he's coming. Your Burger King, he's coming around. And I'm like, there's no fucking way he's ever coming around. No, no, he's so stubborn. He's like, maybe your person is the stubborn one, the fuckwit who's not gonna, like he's got free will. He might not come in. I can't make him come in. So I'm like, I would, of course, be the one with the fuckwit who would never come in. So after we had that epic new level encounter, I was in the kitchen making some coffee, and he said, I just, I just couldn't resist the urge to be like, so you're okay with me dating other people? With like, if I meet somebody else and I do all of that with somebody else, you're cool with that? And like, I can just come over afterwards and hang out with you, and that's you won't mind, you don't care. And he was like, I don't remember how he responded immediately, but basically he wound up saying, well, maybe just until I leave or just until you leave. Like, no, don't start any new relationships. Let's just fuck each other until then. And I was like, wait. Hold the fuck up. What just came out of here? Did you just suggest that we be exclusive until you leave? Steve! I was ecstatic. And from the moment he realized what he had let slip out, he's like, "That's not what I meant." I'm like, "Oh my God, I heard you. Okay, like I heard you." And then I was bugging him about it, and I'm like, "So why would you say that? Is it because you don't really want me to have sex with someone, or is it just because you don't want a VD, or like what?" And he was like, "I don't understand what you're asking." And at some point he said, "Wait, you want this to you? Oh, so you're saying you want it to be reciprocal?" And I'm like, yeah. Like if I'm not fucking anybody else, you're not fucking anybody else." Like, anyway, wait, what? And the day before that, like Adam is very much I'm never gonna get married. It's fucking bullshit. Blah blah blah. And the day before, we had been talking about Social Security being taken out of our checks, and how, what happens to all that money if I die before I ever get to use it, was his point. And I said, well, that's why it goes to your wife or to your children if you had any, but you don't have one. And if you need one at the end of your life, shit, I'll fucking take it. I'll marry you. He's like, okay, well, if at the end of my life, I'll give it to you. I'll do that. And I'm like, you'd marry me? And he's like, yeah, to give you the money? Sure. And I'm like, did he, within a matter of 2 days, did this man that I've been chasing for 20 years just agree to marry me? I mean, even if it's in the future, it doesn't fucking matter. He just agreed to marry me. And two, B, just decided that we should be exclusive. So all of a sudden, I'm like, that shit's no joke. The tarot readings they all said it was going to happen, and it fucking happened. And I can't fucking believe it. And like, so now I'm like, I can trust my intuition, because this whole time I've been like, is it my intuition or is it wishful thinking? Intuition or wishful thinking? And then I'm kind of like, but they are the same thing, because wishful thinking is like a manifestation that then becomes a real thing, right? So, ever since that happened, I've been able to just step back, and I'm not feeling so clingy, I don't need so much reassurance, because I know now, without a doubt, that whatever I've been hearing from Steve and some of the other readers is on point. I knew it was on point, but it was validated that it's on point. And the thing was, is that we had gone from the day before, like thinking our friendship is over. Like we cannot find common ground. We're done. I'm like, I cannot pretend like I don't love you, and you cannot pretend like you do love me. So we're at a fucking impasse. We got to fucking figure out what to do. And like, it's not my decision alone. We have to do this together, right? So it was just so crazy that we went from zero to exactly what I wanted. What? So weird. I've been saying that exact thing. Like, let's be exclusive until you leave. I've been saying that since he got here in fucking January. Anyway, so that's been going on. And in addition to that going on, I just found out that by the 17th of this month, Social Security should have processed my money. So I'm really hoping that that happens and it comes through. And I have been listening to Abraham Hicks every morning and really trying to focus on the law of attraction, trying to work on meditation, which is so hard for me, the whole concept of not thinking about anything deliberately. And one of the only ways I've have been able to be successful is when I listen, especially when there's like birds or whatever, like just listening to the noises around me is one way that I've discovered has been really helpful for me. So, yeah, so now, well, and so now Renata and I have been back on the planning our trip to Europe thing, like it's coming. We're almost there. So I've made up a list of like last minute things I want to get for the trip and trying to figure out like my budget and how I'm going to afford it and when to order it so it gets here before I go and which things I want to just buy when I'm in Europe and which things I want to get while I'm here and all that kind of hullabaloo. Um, I was really like this summer was really weird. I've lost two counselors now. One due to COVID, not lost her like she died, lost her as in she wasn't able to work. And so I was reassigned, and then that counselor left the practice. So now I'm with a new one, and we have barely really spent any time together since I made the switch to her. And but since I made the switch to her, it's been mostly discussions about the law of attraction, positive energy and manifestations and, trying to stay in a different place. Um, so I was really pleased to find that focusing on these tarot readings and really trying to understand what's been going on between my energy and his energy has all been really keeping me stable without seeing my therapist. So thank you, Steve, for being my interim therapist. I really appreciate that shit. Um, so, so yeah. So here's the deal. I am about to finish this one up. I just wanted to give like a update. And also to say that I've done the first two videos, and this is going to be the third one of the story of my life. They've been really fucking hard to do. They hurt. It's not fun to go back there. My energy feels fucked when I'm done, but I also know that this is important to me. This is what I have to offer. I have my experience to offer and what lessons I've learned and and my compassion and my empathy for any of you who understand me and have gone through similar situations. And I want to talk about mental health, and I want to talk about self-esteem, and I want to talk about dreams and the law of attraction and you know empowerment and women's rights and all of these things. I have so many interests, and I really want to talk about all of them. But the biggest thing that I want to do is just tell my story because that's what's important to me. So this is where I'm at now. So I'm about to go do video number 4 about my life, which is, I believe, we're at the point where we're going to be talking about. I think we're at the point where I'm talking about. Yeah, I moved to Buffalo after my mom sent my daughter and I. After my summer of fun with my friend Sean, where we were just out of control with all of our friends. By the way, I forgot to mention, we were total kleptos. Oh my God. We used to go to the mall in Austin with our babies in the strollers, and we'd go through and find all these beautiful Calvin Klein, Girbaud jeans, like all sorts of really great clothes. And then we'd go into to the changing rooms, and we'd pick up the babies in their blankets, and we'd like lay the jeans down on their, oh my God, and then cover them all up with blankets and the babies on top of them. We were terrible. Oh, we were really playing with fire. We were taking orders for our friends. What do you want us to get next time we're there? That's how it was. We were bad. So anyway, that story's coming up. So talk to you later. Okay. Bye.